100%.
Pretty funny.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, my background, so I got really lucky. I fell into marketing, essentially. It was back when I was in high school. I was always very hungry to work for something. And this lady had wanted me to come work for her, packing up orders like when eBay was a thing, right? Before Amazon was a thing, eBay was like the thing everyone sold. So we sold cell phone parts online. And that company started growing pretty fast. I would literally walk to her house after school to her garage, and like we would just package up phone parts and like put it in the mail, right? And that company started growing pretty fast, and I think it was like 3 months in, we were doing like $300K in revenue a month, like just out of nowhere. And all of a sudden they're like, we should start a marketing department. Ashton, you're the longest standing employee. I'm 16 at the time, right? Like, she's like, you're our longest standing employee. You want to be the marketing director? And like, I'm 16 and I'm like, I don't know what that is, but they don't know that. That sounds awesome. Yeah, that's me. Like, I'll be the marketing director.
And Ashton's like, that's how I became the marketing director of Sony. Like, right. You know that like type of story where it's like the company really grew and it became a company, you know, called Apple Computers. You know, like some shit like that.
We'll get this. So like, it started growing really fast. I literally remember going to Barnes & Noble back when Barnes & Noble was a thing, and picked up Marketing for Dummies. And that was like literally the first book I ever got on marketing. And then it was Jab, Jab, Right Hook when that first came out, right? And so anyway, the company started growing really fast. Anyway, I was there for 3.5 years. And when I left, another company had heard about our growth. And they're like, you should be a marketing director for over us. So
pause. This is what I'm talking about. We grew really fast. What was the lawsuit? That company had a lawsuit.
So yeah. So when I left, we were doing $3.2 million a month in revenue
on eBay. What? On eBay, just on eBay.
Well, not necessarily just on eBay, but I was the one who opened up to Amazon. So Amazon, when Amazon came around, I saw it and I was like, I think Amazon could be a cool thing. And so at that point, we were doing like $900,000 a month. And so I opened up the Amazon.
And this was still out of this lady's garage or what?
No. We had a 10,000 square foot warehouse.
Okay, I was like, holy shit.
We became the second largest exporter out of the city next to Bass Pro.
Holy shit.
Bass Pro's headquarters is in Springfield. So we were like, they had semi trucks coming to the warehouse every day and we just load it up and they take it off, right? So anyway.
Crazy.
It's, that company I leave, someone texts me. Like 2 years later, right? I'm a marketing director for someone else. They text me 2 years later and like, dude, did you hear about what happened to, I want to say this and people are going to go to Google right now, Flash Technologies. And they were like, did you hear about it? If you look up Flash Technologies, Springfield, Missouri, you're going to see a letter from the Homeland Security or Department of Defense or something like that. The owner got taken down for $90 million in counterfeit sales.
Wow! So they were selling
million.
They were selling.
It was like 90 or 60. Someone 90.
Like they were selling
computers.
It was 90.
Yeah,
they were selling like counterfeit parts for cell phones and stuff.
Yeah. So again, I didn't. The story I heard was that at some point they were making so much money that her partner that lives in Shenzhen, China. So in the beginning, he would go to the Apple factory, Samsung factory, buy the parts, send them to the U.S. We would sell on eBay. The story I heard was that they started making so much money that like in year 2, they ended up just building their own factory in China.
Shenzhen. Yeah, because that's where it all
sending their own counterfeit to save money. And the
and they weren't
FBI,
even telling them.
Yeah,
I bet you the quality was the same.
100%.
Dude, it's so hard. Like, it's so hard to tell because in the repair industry, parts would get broken all the time. You don't know if someone screwed up the repair or whatever. But anyway, the FBI raided the warehouse 2 years later. She went to prison.
She went to prison?
She went to dude, she was like old. She was like 60s. Bro.
What?
She was just making so much money. But with that said, at a company like that, when you have an owner like that, anything I wanted to try, they just like try it.
Yeah, what a blessing.
Wow.
Anything. So that's how I learned a lot of marketing. And then
you got a decent amount of ad spend right there. freaking 3 million
social
a month.
media was becoming a thing, and so like I just got to experiment so much, but I didn't know like what I was doing. Like,
Was this like Facebook dark posts era or like even before?
back when like porn was everywhere on Facebook. You know what I'm talking about? Like where it was everywhere.
The good old days.
No, dude. No, it was bad. It was so bad.
Now it's just in the comment section on Instagram.
For real. And the DMs. What the hell?
So anyway, back then I wanted to be a pastor. So like literally marketing was just whatever I was doing at work, I just became passionate about, right? So anyway, we go help plant a church in New Orleans. I get married at 18 to my wife, Ari, and we moved to New Orleans to help plant a church. We were there for a bit and then moved to Seattle, helped plant another church. And I wanted to be a pastor at the time. That's all I wanted to be. And anyway, doors kept closing. Anyway, I found Facebook advertising. And I see this ad from this guy, and I was like, I recognize this guy. He was my worship pastor at the church I went to in Missouri. It was Taylor Welch from Traffic and Funnels. And I'm like, oh, man, I recognize that guy. And I like see Traffic and Funnels, business consulting, and I don't even know what consulting is at that time. So I'm like, that's cool. I'll like the page. Click, because I'm like, oh, I know that guy, right? I went. His brother, Peyton, was a senior in high school at the same high school I went to. And so, anyway, I just see marketing, and then a few months later, something happens, and I need to help support my family, and we were living in Seattle. It was very expensive, so I had to drop out of school. I wanted for pastor, and a buddy of mine, his name's Ryan Steenberg, you might know him, was a good friend of mine, and he was making $20K a month from being a client at Traffic and Funnels. I was like, no way. If he can do it, I can definitely do it. That was literally like my just attitude, but I didn't have the money to get in the program. Long story short, I start stalking everyone I know that's a client there because I'm like, they're going to just be doing everything that Taylor tells them to do. So I'm just going to do what they're doing so that I don't have to pay for the program. Started working, doing a lot of organic posting value, which really all I was doing was scanning Facebook groups, seeing the questions people asked, and then Googling the answer and then responding. I had no idea how to run, on any kind of level what they were saying. I hadn't touched ads since back at Flash Technologies. And so I was just hustling, basically, and trying to be the thought leader. And then I finally got a client, and I used it to buy Dan Henry's Facebook ad course. And that's how I learned modern day Facebook ads, right? Back before, like, you had to submit a request, right? So I learned Facebook ads, and I built up an agency making 6 figures, 7 and something a month, right? And I'm working full time at Verizon, and I see Traffic and Funnels put out a internship post. And so I apply, and I shut down my agency, and I just go work for Traffic and Funnels for 3 months for free, and was just like, just let me do anything, organic social media, whatever. Like, I'll just let me be near you. And worked there for 3 months. They liked me, and I stayed on. I got fired and then rehired like a day later. That's another story. But anyway, I worked there. I ended up working there like 2.5, 3 years and learned a ton. And then I needed to move back to Missouri in April of last year, just to be around some family, some health stuff. And then I started Heman Media. And that's what we've been doing since then. That is so long.
Another
I'm so
downplay.
sorry.
Like, what a
About
downplay.
how
Started.
Hope you got value out of that clip. If you want to see the full episode where that clip was from, click right over here. If you want to see other short clips just like that one, feel free to click anywhere on this side of the screen. But most importantly, I want you to hit that subscribe button right here and subscribe to the channel so you can be up to date when new clips are dropped.